Oh, it's so bright. Hey, friends, it's Minky. If you've been around here or me, you know that I care a lot about movement. And that's kind of my jam, my meat and potatoes, as they say. The truth is that movement and delving into a movement practice and discovering what that meant to me changed my life in so many ways that have nothing to do with muscles or strength even. Today, I want to talk about the three biggest things I got out of exploring movement beyond physical strength. It's been hot, y'all. Honestly, I haven't minded too much, maybe because I mostly spend my time kind of inside of places. But if you are the outdoorsy type or the outside type, stay hydrated. The first thing that really shifted for me, and maybe the most foundational, was self-awareness. And not in the hyper-performative way that people talk about body image. I mean, awareness in the sense of being able to notice the way I move through space, how my body shifted, or like the ways in which I position myself and posture myself in social situations, because social things tend to be a little bit harder for me, especially if there are big crowds or people that I just don't know, because it's uncomfortable. And as someone who is ADHD, it's a struggle. It takes a lot of energy in ways that is hard to explain, I guess. But trust me when I say it's challenging, and it showed up and still shows up in my body. Like I can feel myself starting to like the rounding, the hiding. And I think this is also something that a lot of folks who are assigned female at birth might understand as well, because there's a lot of just like wanting to curl into yourself to hide yourself from being too visible, especially when you feel unsafe. Those things became more obvious to me the more I practiced movement in an intentional way. I started recognizing those shifts, and that started getting me to think about the things that I can change as I paid attention to it. It allowed me to get to know myself and notice the unspoken and untapped stories and experiences that my body was still carrying and continues to carry. The second shift is what I can only describe as liberation. When I stopped trying to dominate my body into either doing things or not doing things that made me uncomfortable, and I started trying to understand it and recognize those patterns, I started trusting it more. When I began trusting it more, I was then able to build more stability and range and strength. When I did that, I felt more confident in it, because it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like the trust continues to build, and that changed that changed so much for me, not just in my physical self, but in the ways in which I expressed myself, because I wasn't needing to protect myself as much. Probably one of the most clear ways to me that has shaped my experience of ownership is being trans. I came out as trans and non-binary later on in life, and I think navigating physical transition while also delving into my movement practice was a really like unique experience for myself. It taught me the difference between being disconnected and having autonomy. It felt more freeing to be able to do that, to be able to reconnect with myself. Another example of the liberation for me is that I can fall really well. Okay. A lot of that comes from being able to trust my body to instinctively help me when I run into a situation where I don't really have a lot of control over what's happening to me. For example, like I've been bucked off a horse and instinctively was able to tuck my head and roll through the fall so that I didn't slam right into my head. Other times, not even falling, but more so I've been hit by a car while riding my motorcycle. This person was parked on the side and made a U-turn into me and my body. I came away with just a broken pinky toe. Pretty fucking good, honestly. Like, ooh. Could have been so bad. The point is that I was able to trust that my body could respond instinctively without having to think about it. And that is incredibly liberating and allows me to experience more things that I'm interested in. And this took time. That's something that I want to impart, like these are things that developed for me over time while in my movement practice. It's relationship building, right? Like I think that's really important for me. Body liberation, it didn't come from achieving the right body. body. It came from realizing that I didn't need to earn my own trust. I just needed to listen to myself and build that trust with myself, with my body. And the last thing that I only recently kind of started realizing and recognizing is perhaps the most surprising. It is that movement has helped me learn how to relate to other people. That might sound weird at first, but as someone who is both autistic and has ADHD, I've struggled my entire life with connection. I have low support needs and have been able to learn how to mask enough to pass, I guess. But reading social cues and keeping up with conversational rhythms and understanding unspoken expectations are things that don't come very naturally to me. And for a long time, I thought that meant that I just was really bad at interpersonal relationships, that I just didn't know how to connect with people. Maybe I'm like an alien, who knows? There's a lot of stuff that goes through your brain, you know, and on top of that, navigating the identities of queerness and transness and like being an immigrant and like being a person of color and all of these things, right, has made it challenging for me to fully grasp social conventions, I guess, the norms. But my movement practice and learning my body and learning how to move within myself and how I'm holding myself and why my body moves a certain way, that gave me a different language. And it was one that isn't built on small talk or eye contact or neurotypical social rules. It gave me a way to engage with folks that felt natural and grounded and honest. And I think a lot of it comes from being comfortable and also being really passionate about the topic, right? And movement and being able to visually understand movement has been really helpful for me to connect with folks at the gym, being able to see the little shifts in people's bodies, reading that body language, being able to apply the ways that I think to how I train, using movement as a language and as a way to interpret what people are feeling and potentially needing. It's given me a way to interact with people better and understand those things and build on those cues, I guess, and build on those relationships. Being able to have a structure to build off of makes interacting a little bit more manageable, something that I can grasp without feeling overstimulated or stressed out by all of the variables. I do think also at the gym, we have such a culture of allowing people to come as they are, and that allows for other folks to then also accept them. And having that has also helped me make those interactions and relationship building moments even more meaningful, because I'm not so worried about the environment or what I need to say or how I'm saying it or what it is people are expecting of me. Something else that I find interesting is using my movement practice as kind of a template for communication and relational dynamics. If I wouldn't force a stretch, then why would I force a conversation? When I started applying the principles I used in movement, like curiosity, consent, adaptability, and pacing to my relationships, something really clicked, because those are the exact same things I needed in order to feel safe, respected, and seen, both in my body and in my connections. So when I teach now, I don't just teach exercises, I teach how I relate through movement and attention and shared effort. Teaching movement is one of the most honest and intimate ways that I know how to connect with someone, because I'm not just asking folks to notice the world around them, I'm asking and guiding them to notice themselves, and we get to explore that together. So yeah, I love strength. I love muscles and I like to show them off. I love learning new strength skills and movement skills, but it's what I've learned beyond strength that has changed me the most. If you've ever felt disconnected from your body or curious about what it might be trying to tell you, or maybe you're now starting to realize that movement can be more than sets and reps, then you're certainly not alone. And I hope you keep going. You deserve to have that relationship. It is yours to have. That is, to me, a part of autonomy and what we're fighting for and what we are, building. If this video resonated with you, please like, drop a comment, share it with someone. And if you want more conversations like this, or you want to learn how to move in ways that feel more like you, then hit subscribe and stick around. Thanks for being here. Get some food, get some water. Love you.